How's it going, everybody? I am back, and this is actually not a Farmerville episode. This is actually going to be something a little bit different. I was thinking about doing this on Farmerville, but then I decided not to because, well, talking about arena battles with an account that is free to play and is also very low leveled is kind of difficult, so I thought I'd just do this on my main account, and I think this will be pretty nice to talk about because a lot of people have been wondering, and you know what? Yes, I do hate arena, and I'm not as good as my other counterparts, so just to give you a picture, I can clear TOA hard, but a lot of my other, friends who don't clear TOA hard can reach Guardian 2, Guardian 3, and I can't. So, hopefully you guys can get some good advice on what I have views personally on arena defenses and what makes a conqueror level defense. And I know I can talk about conqueror level defense because that's not as difficult. So, mainly, the big gap is going from Fighter 3 to actual Conqueror 1, and so the difference is Conqueror 1 is 1,500 points, and you have to be above rank 10,000. So if you look here, I have 1,406 points, and I'm above rank 10,000. So I will not be Conqueror 1 anytime soon. I also have not used wings in around 4 days. So if you haven't noticed, I didn't upload a video for 4 days. I got a lot of stuff to catch up on school-wise, so that's why I just didn't upload a video. I apologize for that. So this is what it looks like when I don't attack for 4 days. And now my defense can actually hold Conqueror 2, I believe. Yeah, Conqueror 2 for about 2 to 3 days if I don't attack at all. And I just chill up there. It'll just push me back up and forth. So I'm sitting at around a 60% success rate, more or less, usually per week when I hang around Conquer 1. Now, the real question is, why is that? What is the difference between you and me? And a lot of people are like, well, you've got a lot better monsters. Reafi, you've got so many good monsters, natural 5 stars, and so many 6 stars, but does it really make that much of a difference? I mean, most of the units that I use are not natural 5 stars, actually. I barely even use some of my OP ones like Praha. I really don't. So, what is the difference? And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, guys. Seriously, though, it's runes. And I'm not just going to sit here and rant about runes and tell you how many times you have to farm Giants B10 and Dragons B10. But seriously, get those runes up by going higher and higher in those dungeons. Now, what are you supposed to do with those? Well, there's a different amount of times that you can use different teams, all right? So there's different teams that you're going to want to look at and different defenses. I'm going to talk about defenses in another video. This one is going to be mainly attacking because attacking is really huge. How much time you waste per attack can really affect you during rush hour. And this is assuming that you're like borderline Conquer 1. So looking at these different types of things, this is just an attack I was trying out. All right, so look at these different types of setups. A lot of people, right now, the meta, you have to understand the meta. And right now, the meta is like speed, okay? It's just speed, speed, speed. And I don't know if it shows so much in Conquer 1. Like, look at this. No, not really. This one a little bit. But it's really not that big of a deal. Like, if you look now, there's just a lot of speed leads. And if there's not speed leads, it's usually like Veramos, like these ones, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys get the point. Chloe is also everywhere. Chloe is huge in Arena. Now, how are you going to get rid of Chloe? The main thing that I do is I outspeed, okay? And I know you guys are not going to be able to do this because obviously a lot of you guys don't have a speed leader or maybe even Galleon, and that's okay. Look at my Bernard speed, 262. This is actually on the slow side for Guardian 1, Guardian 2. It's about average, actually. But for like Conquer 1, Conquer 2, this outspeeds everyone, literally everyone. Now, let's say I didn't use Bernard, and let's try some regular team. Now, if you guys have Theomars, ideally you'd want to use like a Theomars or, some other type of damage dealer, okay? And let's say you want to use farmable monsters. Now, if I wanted to do something on like Farmerville and I really wanted to do something that was pretty consistent, I would probably run something similar to, let's see. I know, I came unprepared. I didn't even know what I wanted to use for Farmerville. But it's going to be mostly like farmable stuff like Colleen. Colleen is actually an excellent replacement for Chasun because she brings 3-turn the attack buff, right? Okay, so I talked about the buffs, and then we're going to talk about debuffs in the next Farmerville episode. 3 turns for the attack buff. That is huge. That is so amazing, okay? That's a replacement for Chasun. So it's always about replacing monsters that are super OP that are not farmable. If you guys have Lucians are very great in Arena, okay? And this is just, I'm not showing off monsters, I'm just talking about monsters that you can potentially use. I use Ramagos, actually. Not really anymore, because the meta right now is just speed, and, 136 is not fast at all. So, this is like something that you guys can look at when it goes back to like revives and tanks and stuff like this, because Ramagos can tank a lot of fire damage. So if it's like a full fire team, I use Ramagos. I built up, where is he? I built up Ragion, who's not ruined right now. I built him up and 6-starred him so that I could use it against Pernas. But right now, honestly, Ramagos is doing a lot better of a job. And a lot of these other monsters I have are unruined because the meta right now just does not require them. So I've been moving around runes and stuff like that and kind of changing things up just to kind of level the playing field when the meta changes. And what is a meta? M-E-T-A. It basically means the play style of the arena right now. And right now, like I said before, it is mostly speed. So I just want to show you how easy it is to kind of outspeed people. I'll go ahead and show you. So let's say I did like this kind of thing. No speed buff, right? I'll go ahead and use Akamir. I hope he's totally ruined. Yeah, so 166, right? That's not even that much. That's not that hard to use. Put that on. Let's see how we do. Now, of course, it's kind of, I want to show you something here. I didn't really explain it too in depth, but I will show it to you. So obviously we're going to outspeed him by a long shot. Look at those attack bars. So if you look at that blue line right under their the green health, that is their attack bar. If you look at all mine, look how far up they are. Speed means you're going to get more attacks off and you're going to get to go first. Now I'm trying to get everyone on will runes, so I do not have Akamir fully ruined. He is not at all fully ruined. He's actually missing a rune on his slot 1, but you're going to see right here that it doesn't matter. Okay? So will runes, if you guys can get them, it doesn't matter how good they are, just try to get ones that can fill up and get good main stats like on the 2, 4, and 6 slots. If you guys are high up enough to reach Conquer 1, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those main stats have to be good, okay? That's the thing. But substats on 1, 3, and 5 are what matter. That's really, so if you get good substats on a 5-star rune, who cares? Okay? You don't want to replace this, you don't want to replace it with a 6-star rune that has shit substats. It's just not going to work. So, right now this is one of the metas. Speed is key. So you look at that. I can get my 166 Amir all the way up. Then I can put on some defense break. There's many monsters that have AoE defense break. Obviously that got resisted. I don't even know why. He's at like 70 something % resistance. All right, this Amir is not ruined very well. He's actually missing a rune. And look. So he didn't crit on the Sierra, but that should hit 28k. So when I get him fully ruined, that'll be great. And then we just finish off everything else. It's pretty simple. As long as you get rid of like 2 or 3 monsters, it's pretty easy to finish up the battle. And it goes quickly. You see that lasted maybe 20 to 30 seconds, maybe less than that, if I wasn't explaining everything. And look at that, we bumped up above 10,000, rank 10,000, okay? Well, what if we try higher up, like something like this? All right, so this is a full fire team, okay? I'm going to show you a setup that could easily kill him. So I just bring some, like a few water monsters. Now, don't ignore the Water Monkey King. He's not even that good, okay? But I just want to show you. Bring a few water monsters like this, okay? Maybe a Chloe or, healer, some type of healer. I'll bring a Belladon just so it's, let's see. I can't even find my own monsters. So I'll bring a consistent team. How about that? So you guys don't feel out of the loop. Chloe can be replaced by any other healer, okay? Just be careful because immunity is really helpful here. Where are you? There you are. Ramagos, okay? Now, I just want to show you, again, ideally, I would bring Praha because Chloe, I can remove it. But I don't want to make you guys feel like I'm using too many natural 5-stars. So I'm using 3 farmable monsters. Theomars is, of course, farmable because you can get it from Guild Wars Shop. And Chloe, I know you guys, not all of you have her, but she's very useful to have. If you can use any other healer, that works too, because there's not too much defense break here, only by Vanessa. I just want to show you what you can do against full fire teams, okay? So the first one we want to get rid of is obviously Theomars. Now the idea behind this kind of team is to bring a nuker like Theomars that's water, so I can slowly pick off monsters. And then since it's full fire team, you're going to want to bring a wind tank. And right here, I'm bringing the Ramagos. So he's going to absorb all of the damage. And the beauty behind Ramagos is he actually absorbs the damage and then deals it back. So it's not like Ragion where he's just, absorbing it all, but Ramagos is actually dealing it back. So we want to keep Vertihil down because we don't want them to attack too much. The whole idea behind this is to make sure that they do not get that many attacks off. That way my Ramagos can survive. That's dangerous. You see that defense break? Very, 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 very dangerous. So we're going to try to get rid of that Vanessa because that defense break is horrible. So you see the order that we're attacking in. We're trying to get rid of Vertihil because he makes him go a lot. Then we're going to try to get rid of Vanessa. I don't know if he's going to survive this. So keep his health up. He'll get more damage. Don't worry about him. He will get his damage. And then we're going to try to get rid of Vanessa. Now, I do not advise against getting rid of the fire nuker, the main fire nuker. So if we look at the Perna, hopefully, yep. All right, see, I've got enough health where you can survive that. Now, looking at Ramagos, right? If we get rid of the damage dealer, then Ramagos kind of loses his use. So we don't want him to lose that. Oh, that's getting close. A little bit not, comfortable for that. But it's okay. Check this out. Kaboom, that's over 38,000 damage, all right? We can hit this on auto. Not a big deal, okay? So we didn't really need Chloe there. We just need a damage dealer. A healer, like a second healer, or maybe even another damage dealer. It's not that big of a deal. But I bring immunity just for that first turn. You don't know how fast their monsters are. Seriously, though, guys, don't hold it against me. You don't have to use Chloe. But the whole idea behind this team, and this works for any kind of attribute team that's solo attribute. That means like only fire or only water or stuff like that. Because you will see that in Conquer level. You don't have to just go full YOLO like I do most of the time with my speed team. You just bring some kind of tank to absorb the damage. So I'll go ahead and show you a few tanks to absorb damage. I like to use Ramagos for the fire teams, right? For water teams, Arnold I need to build up because his runes are very subpar, not leveled up. I'm going to be using him though. Usually I just use Chloe. 27,000, 28,000 HP is more than enough. And you see she doesn't really even have that great of runes. It's kind of like meh. So you could really surpass this and use her as a I think water tank. Yeah, she can absorb the damage, and you don't really see too many water teams because the only water nuker that's pretty sustainable is actually Theomar's, and he attacks anyone. There's really no defense against that. You just have to really take him down, reset his little passive skill, or even stun him. That works too. What else? Against wind teams, you don't see too many because most of the wind nukers are pretty actually very what do you call it? Squishy? Yeah, very easy to kill. I don't have anyone to tank that because you don't see any wind nukers. You really don't. And if I do, I usually just bring some like fire team, or maybe I'll just bring I really don't have any defense against that. Sorry, there's really no way to see that. You don't ever see this in arena. But if you do, same concept, bring some kind of monster to tank it if you really want to, but 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, like 99 times out of 100, you will not see a full wind team that needs tanking. Usually it's just a speed team like with Megan, Lucian, that kind of stuff. Now, this is actually one of the teams that's very, very used, and that is light. Light teams are used so many times, and it is so freaking annoying. Now it doesn't matter because I just outspeed it. But they'll do like Amin, Beladion, Darien, and then someone else like the Light Sylph, or even like the Light Ninja. I see a lot of those in Guild War battles too, and this is the solution to it, guys. All right, he's not ruined really right now, but I'm gonna level up his runes. I just put on these runes, and his stats kind of suck. I'm not using him for defense break, just to absorb damage when I finish ruining him, and that is Jubel, the Dark Vagabond. He reduces crit chance by 50%. That guarantees him to survive a lot longer versus Ramagos. Yeah, I know he has 40,000 damage, or HP, versus him, he's going to probably have around 30 to 35,000 HP because his HP, his main HP, that little base thing, that 9,885 is a lot lower. So that means the scaling off of all those runes that you have is going to be a lot lower. If I put the exact same runes from Ramagos onto Jubel, he would not have 40,000 HP. He would have probably around 36, maybe 35,000 HP. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference, and that's why you want to look at the type of attribute they are, and most times it will match. So Jubel is a defense-based monster, so he does get increased stats in defense. Now you have to make sure that the skills coincide with that as well, because sometimes you get monsters like Jojo, the Fire Joker, who is a defense-based monster that does damage from bombs. I know, it doesn't make any sense, guys. It really doesn't. but that's okay. This just indicates the main stats that they're going to get. So if they're an attack-based monster, they're going to get more stats into the attack. That's why Lynette for Necro is kind of bad, because she's a defense-based monster, but she's supposed to be doing damage. You see this? No defense-based skills. That's why she's kind of eh. But regardless, that's kind of the basic concept of that type of arena offense, all right? That's just kind of if you see full YOLO, same attribute teams, and most of the times it's going to be fire or light. Sometimes you see dark, and sometimes you see water, but I never see wind. I have yet to see a wind team that's full wind. We're going to go ahead and refresh this so you guys see that it really does work on anyone, okay? See, look, speed lead. Okay, we'll keep looking. Veramos, a lot of Veramos in arena. The only way you can really get rid of it is if you just keep trying to get rid of him. Like go for him first. Look at that speed lead. Keep going through here. All right, Veramos again. It's a lot of the same stuff. Speed lead, right? So, and this is the similar concept. 3 fire units, right? I'm gonna be bringing a lot of water units, and I don't really use Ramagos to tank so much. I usually just use him for fun, like YOLO Ramagos in Guild War battles, and you guys see that a lot. So you guys know what I like to do with that. But for you lower level players who are trying to push into Conquer 1, Ramagos is a good option. He can really help you tank those fire teams. So you see like these kinds of teams, like this is a speed based, like he increases the attack bar, okay? Get familiar with the monsters that are in the defenses. Seriously, get familiar with them. Because if you don't know what one monster is going to do, like say I come into the battle, and I go, oh, what kind of monster is this? I don't even know. Let's attack him. You don't even know what his role is. You're gonna get screwed. I bet you anything. You'll probably get screwed because some of these monsters are really good. Like this one, they're probably like, oh, he's just showing off the light succubus. No, she's actually really lethal. Now, not so much in arena. It's mostly on speed teams, I guess, like this one. But she's really overpowered in Travel Ascension Hard because she decreases the speed and increases the glancing hit chance. So you have to really get familiar with the skills. Look at this so much. I can immediately tell you what's going to be on this team. Oh, sorry. I want to show you a different team so you guys know I didn't look at it before. Okay. Veramos removes buffs. He cleanses. Okay. Theomar's damage dealer. Chloe has immunity and shield and she heals. Jasoon, heal and the skill balance. All right. I know all of the skills on these monsters. I'm very familiar with the monsters. So that way I can actually just look at them, set up a team against them, stuff like that. Why do I keep clicking on them? Jesus. Zyros has AoE reset and also has the continuous damage. And if you don't know what a monster does, you don't have to look him up. Click on him. Boom. Okay. Now this brings me to my last point because this is kind of getting a little bit long and I don't want you guys to feel like this is just repeating. And this is actually what I've been waiting to tell you. Speed syncing. Okay. So if you guys have watched through to the end of this video, like right now, this is my reward to you. How to speed sync. And what does that mean? Sorry, synchronize. I should use the full term. All right, so what that means is basically setting up your speed to have certain monsters go right after one another to guarantee certain skills being used, okay? And here's an example. Galleon has, you look at the HP, the attack, yada yada, it looks nice, okay. 71% accuracy, could be better. I need to level this up. So he'll be at about 90% accuracy, I think. Yeah. So then you look at this, 198 speed, right? So that's 108 plus 190, or 108 plus 90, that's 198 for you math people out there. Okay. Now, why does that matter? Well, we go over to Tyrone, and he is 197. 105 plus 105 plus 92. 97, 197, right? Okay, math people, you were still with me? I know people hate math. 197, 198. What does that mean? Well, it means the attack bar is going to be literally riding each other up, okay? So Tyrone is going to go always going to go after Galleon, except, and this is very, very small chance, like 0.001% chance, if someone else has the exact same speed as Galleon, which is very, very uncommon, because of the speed totem, like a lot of different factors that also play into it. But because the speed totem and all that stuff play to the same monster, it's pretty much guaranteed. And he has a higher base speed. You have to be careful because let's say if he was supposed to go first and he had like 1 speed more than Galleon, Galleon would probably still go before Tyrone, even though Tyrone has more base speed, or sorry, has more speed, like total, like, say he had 199 here, like plus 94, right? My Galleon would probably still go before him because of my speed totem. my speed totem increases based on the base speed, and Galleon has a higher base speed. So you always have to keep that in account. Be very careful with that, okay? So monsters like, let's say, Lagmarone with 110 speed, or even like Spectra with 126 speed, and trust me, monsters do have that. I don't have them out right now, but Kabilla, the Light Harpy, who I'm also building, has 120 base speed. That's 9 more than Bernard, and she has the same increase of attack bar. That's huge. 9 speed is a lot for like Guardian level. That's going to be the difference between winning and losing, and that's space speed, so it also applies to the Swift rune set, okay? So the point is, just try to calculate your speed, and I know you guys don't like to do math. Some of you guys don't really like to do math. Sometimes I don't like to do math either, but I am a math major, so it kind of is my job. And you gotta just kind of look at everything, make sure the units go one after another. So this is how my team goes. Speed lead makes Bernard, the fastest monster in my entire collection, go first, right? Bernard goes first, buffs the entire team, then Galleon goes next, 198 speed. If they have like a Chloe something, I can actually use Praha, who's at 201 speed, which is a 3 speed gap between Praha and Galleon. Very, 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 very tight. So you want to keep that tight. And I'm also doing this on Farmer Phil. You guys will see this soon when I go over Arena on Farmer Phil. The actual speed is pretty set, so you don't have to just do this at late game. You can do this early game too. Just make sure your defense breakers and buffs go before your actual nukers, so that way you can put all that stuff on there and do more damage. You don't have to wait like 3 turns for the speed to get all jumbled up, okay? Because usually the speed gets all screwed up after like a few turns, but that's why speed teams are so nice. It only takes a few turns to finish up the match. So then Galleon puts all the buffs, if, you know, Praha isn't on the team, puts all of the defense break and increases my attack power, right? Then I use Tyrone to freeze everyone, right? Now, ideally, so the basic concept behind this is to make sure that you do it consecutive. And then I have like nuker, my nukers, like this one has 174 speed. This one, who's not even fully ruined yet, has 166. They're the slowest. The nukers are the slowest. Now, that's just to give you an idea. You don't have to necessarily do a speed team, but here's another idea, right? Belladillon, 158 speed is my defense breaker. If I use Belladillon, it's because I'm using a slow team, right? Theomars, 109. My Shihao, who I did actually ruin, 134. All right, so just looking at these different monsters, I used my Chimeras on speed teams. That's why they're faster. But a lot of these monsters, like even Katarina, 121 speed, I make sure that they're slower than my defense break, okay, even though Katarina doesn't need it with the 3rd skill. But that's besides the point, guys, all right? I don't want to hear it. The whole point of this is to make sure that your buffs, like from Chisun, who I increased the actual attack speed, so I can actually make sure, so 175 speed, I want to make sure that she goes before all of my nukers if I do use her on a team. Most of the time I just use a speed team. So I really highly suggest it to you guys that are actually getting up higher level to use speed teams. It's super convenient. But the whole point is to set up the speed on your teams to match the order that you want them to go in. So you want your defense breaker to really go before your nukers. You want your cleanser to go right after the enemy, but right before your units so that you can land your debuffs, if that makes sense, okay? Stay with me. I know this is kind of a long video, guys. I apologize. I just want to show you one more battle really quick, okay? Just to show you how lethal it is, really. Let me try to find like an example, because there's a certain type of battle I want to show you on. Let's see. And like all of these teams, like this one, fire and water, if you have the water units to do it, really, you just bring a cleanser. You could just use Belladillon as a cleanser. Really, it's not that big of a deal. So these types of teams, okay, these are the types of teams you will see in Conquer 1. Right now, it's the beginning of a reset, okay, just reset, so that's why I'm seeing a lot of Guardian level players down here, and that's okay, but the whole idea is to bring this type of setup, and I will show you how lethal it is, as long as Theomars, please, Galleon, please don't screw this up, okay? I really hope I don't screw this up. I'll put this in my fail montage if I do screw this up, but that's besides the point, okay? I just want to show you how it works. So, see this? Bernard goes first, buffs everyone up. Then I lay my debuffs. See, it landed on everyone this time. Thank God. Alright, then I freeze them. Everyone's frozen. Ideally, I would use the Akamir, yeah. He deals pretty decent damage, but I forgot he's unruined. So then I use AoE damage. That's what I want to use since there's defense break, okay? And now this isn't going to really kill anyone, maybe one person, just because it's mostly single target, but it does some AoE damage, just not as much. And then we just finish everyone up. Oh, 5-star in chat. All right. Okay, let's see what you got. Oh, Juno. So that's a cleanser. So you really want to get cleansers. The cleansers are really nice. Aquila, the wind brownie magician, is also a cleanser too. So look at that one. That one's a pretty good cleanser if you really need a cleanser. So I hope you guys got the idea, but my whole point on this one is really speed synchronization. You saw the lethality of my speed team right there. I would not be able to do that if my galleon was slower than my nuker. So it really does matter, even more than the main stats. Did you see my damage take any, or did you see my team take any damage there? No. So if you're going to be running a team like that with Bernard, you really need to just focus on your attack power, on your nukers, and your speed. Your speed synchronization is almost more important than getting an insane high amount of health, okay? If you look at my Chasun, look how much speed she has. 175 speed. That's a lot higher than most Chasuns out there. Look at her health. Like 33,000 exact. Now, that's a lot lower than most players. I see a lot of Fighter 3 players with more HP than my Chasun. But my Chasun goes so often, and so few people target Chasun first, that I will be annoying more people, probably, you know, just if I decide to put Chasun on defense. So having really high-speed monsters, like if you look at a lot of my monsters that I use actually on offense and defense, they're all over 150 speed. All right? That's the whole main idea of it. All right, guys? So really, speed is superb right now. In Arena, it might change in the future, so maybe in a few months this video will be outdated, but I promise you guys, speed is huge. And if you guys get your speed teams like... Oh, what the... What? Ah! Fire Desert Queen. Okay. Well, I'm going to get off before I start getting really jelly from all of these natural 5 stars. I'm going to start doing summons again. Out of courtesy, I did No Summon November for Claytano. If you guys were in his summon session, thank you so much for supporting his cause. I just didn't really have the time to do my own because it was just really crazy. But they did a lot of summons, got a lot of good stuff. Great for them. So hopefully they raised a lot of money for, I think it was prostate cancer awareness. Good for them. All right, I'm back up for summons now. So if you guys want me to summon for you, starting on every Tuesday, I will do summons for you. So send me an email, and we will get that started. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit of a long one. If you guys stuck with me, thank you so much. I've been pretty busy, so I wanted to just do a really long video. Make up for the past couple days past few days that I've been gone, just trying to get back on track with school after being gone for a while. So I will see you guys in the next episode. And this is not technically a Farmer Phil because I'm not on Farmer Phil, so I promise another episode this week. So just a treat for you guys. We will talk about more about the speed teams and arena stuff on Farmer Phil and how to do it on lower levels. Below Fighter 3, this is mostly for Conquer 1 players that want to keep Conquer 1, and that's basically it. Speed teams will definitely get you Conquer 1. If you can't get a speed team, then try to get a team that synchronizes well. That's the whole point, getting a synchronized team that will get you further in the game than any other team, I promise you, okay? Alright, guys. I will see you guys later. Keep it real, stay awesome, and, yeah. So we gotta be really careful here. Case, yeah. See, if he would have got a shot off, he gets build-up of attack power. You don't want to do that. That's bad news. So I guess I was lying. I guess the violent procs are not showing up for this video. There was actually a defense that I attacked 3 times, and every single time the Theomars opened up with like at least 4 violent procs. I was not even mad. I was more surprised.